And with that, we start with the news break that's coming in. The Reserve Bank of India has decided to keep the policy rate unchanged at 6.5% for fourth consecutive time, maintaining a tight vigil on inflation. Also note that inflation still remains a cause of concern. Meanwhile, the key interest rate has been kept unchanged for the fourth consecutive time at 6.5%. Now, this is during the bi-monthly monetary policy. The presser, of course, is happening as we speak of the RBI Governor Shaktikanta Das. But the key announcement there that's been made by the Governor on the repo rate, which has been kept unchanged at 6.5%. Listen in to that statement of the RBI Governor.
Number 2, to deploy emerging modes of payment acceptance such as Soundbox and Aadhaar-enabled biometric payment acceptance devices. These measures will further accelerate the Reserve Bank's efforts to promote digital payments at the grassroots level. The next announcement relates to introduction of new channels for card-on-file tokenization, that is COFT. Given the growing acceptance and benefits of tokenization of card data, it is now proposed to introduce card-on-file tokenization creation facilities directly at the issue bank level. This measure will enhance convenience for cardholders to get tokens created and linked to their existing accounts with various e-commerce applications. And the final announcement is as follows, after which I will conclude. The last announcement relates to master direction on internal ombudsman mechanism in the regulated entities. You would have noticed that over the recent years, we have taken a number of measures to improve the system of customers' grievance redressal in the banks as well as in the NBFCs and other entities which are regulated by the Reserve Bank. Now, at present, we have also mandated, as you know, there is an integrated ombudsman scheme of the Reserve Bank. But before that, there is an internal ombudsman scheme in the regulated entities, be it NBFCs or banks. Now, at present, internal ombudsman framework in regulated entities comprises of separate guidelines for select scheduled commercial banks, non-bank issuers of prepaid instruments, NBFCs and all credit information companies, that is CICs. These guidelines have similar design features but vary in certain operational aspects. It has been decided to effect certain changes and also consolidate and harmonize the internal ombudsman guidelines into a single master direction. This will further strengthen the customer grievance redress system of the regulated entities. Now, I am referring here to the internal ombudsman scheme, which every bank, every NBFC, every regulated entity is expected to have, and they do have it. We are further fine-tuning that system so that customer grievance redress mechanism improves further. Let me now conclude. The Indian economy is for
So, key announcement there coming in from the RBI Governor Shaktikanta Das, who says that inflation still remains a cause of concern. Meanwhile, the repo rate has been kept unchanged for the fourth consecutive time at 6.5%, which signals that the economy is resilient so far. It's been doing good. Adding that global trade is contracting, which is again one of the headwinds which remains a cause of concern. But the important takeaway from that briefing by the RBI Governor is that the repo rate has been kept unchanged at 6.5%.
Of the statement and our policy, which I am going to now spell out, which will reflect, which will reveal and give an idea about our approach not only to monetary policy but also to various aspects of monetary policy as we move forward during this amidst this global challenges and headwinds. I shall now briefly set out the MPC's rationale for these decisions on the policy rate and the stance. Headline inflation has surged in July, driven by tomato and other vegetable prices. It corrected partly in August and is expected to see further easing in September on the back of moderation of these prices. A silver lining amidst all this is declining core inflation, that is CPI inflation excluding food and fuel. The overall inflation outlook, however, is clouded by uncertainties from the fall in Kharif sowing for certain key crops like pulses and oilseeds, lower reservoir levels, and volatile global food and energy prices. The MPC observed that the recurring incidence of large and overlapping food price shocks can impart generalization and persistence to headline inflation. Economic activity, on the other hand, has remained resilient. Taking into account the evolving inflation growth dynamics and the cumulative policy repo rate hike of 250 basis points, which is still working through the economic.
All right, let's shift